Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Mande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम सच्चिदानंद रूपाय कृष्णाय क्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदांत वेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वलोकहिते रतं वेदाब्ज भास्करं वन्दे शमादिनिलयं मुनिं सहस्रमूर्ते पुरुषोत्तमस्य सहस्रनेत्राननपादबाहोः सहस्रनाम्नां स्तवनं प्रशस्तं निरुच्यते जन्मजरादिशान्त्यै. Namaste once again, everyone.
Namaste, Guruji.
So, we are seeing the meaning of this shloka. Agranir Gramarni Sriman Yayo Neka Samiranaha Sahasramurdha Vishwatma Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat. So in that last class we saw up to the meaning, the Nama Neta. We saw the meaning. But today we will start from Samiranaha onwards. Okay. There is sound coming. Mute. Okay. So Samiranaha means the one who sets in motion all beings in the form of breath. Shwasanam. That's why Adi Shankara says, Shwasana Rupena Bhutani Chattayati iti Samirana. So Samirana is that which induces action. How? Shwasana Rupena, in the form of breath, breathing. Bhutani Cheshtayati. The Lord causes the activity on the part of all living beings, and hence he is called Samirana. Because the Lord alone is in the form of Vayu, air, and which manifests in the form of Prana, Apana, and all that our Pancha Pranas. And that is life. And every living being is aware of the importance of air that is breathed, isn't it? And Veda praises him as Namo Brahmane. Unto that Brahman my salutation. And where is that Brahman? Namaste Vayo. Tvameva pratyaksham brahmasi. Vayu. My salutations to you, Namaste Vayo, because you are the Pratyaksham Brahma. This comes in the Shanti Patha of Taittiriya Upanishad, beginning with Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha. This mantra starts like that. Then in that we will get this Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. These words come. This verse comes. So you are the one who makes every life possible. We have heard that Brahman is the one who sustains everything. But I, as an ignorant, Ajnani Jiva, I don't know that Brahman. For me, you are that Pratyaksha Brahma, the tangible manifestation of that Brahman. Everything, every living being in this entire cosmos requires to breathe. A tree which is there, which is standing, it cannot live without breathing. Every living thing, every plant, every human being depends on Vayu, which sustains life. So you are also called Sutratma because as a sutra, sutra means what? A string, as a golden string that runs through the beads of a garland, you hold all the beings together. Oh Vayu, you are the one whom I see sustaining every form of life, known and unknown to me. So in the form of prana, Lord is Samirana, making all organisms alive and active. This is the meaning of Samirana. Then next is Sahasramurdha. Sahasramurdha, here Sahasra again, wherever we come across the word Sahasra in the slokas, in the scriptures, we must not literally translate 1,000, but we must take it as countless. So Sahasramurdha means the one who has countless heads. Sahasrani murdhanaha asya iti Sahasramurdha. Literally, it means the Lord is referred to as Sahasramurdha, having 1,000 heads. But as I said, we must take it as countless heads. But every head is the Lord's head. Purusha Suktam starts with Sahasra Shirisha Purusha hai. And the same idea is expressed as Sahasramurdha. There Shirsha is used, here Murdha is used. That's the only difference. Because the Lord, everything is Bhagavan's form only. And every head in every form in this prapancha is Bhagavan only. So that way we can say he is countless heads Bhagavan has got. So he is Sahasramurdha. Then Vishwatma, the truth of the universe. Vishwasya Atma Vishwatma, says Adi Shankara. The very first Nama of the Lord was called what? Vishwam, isn't it? You all remember? Vishwam, Vishnur, Vashatkaro, that word. Vishwam was the first Nama. And we saw the meaning also, the one who manifests as the universe. So that which is known through different cognitions is Vishwa. And every object is known by a cognition. When we look at the galaxy, that is one cognition. Then we look at the Milky Way consisting of many systems with suns, planets, etc. That is another cognition. Our own solar system, the sun and the planets around that sun is another cognition. We look at the earth, that is another cognition. The earth has got so many continents and that is one more cognition. And the continents consist of so many countries, that is one more cognition. Country has many states, and the states have got many districts, and further subdivisions are there, right up to the village level. Each is a separate cognition. And this entire universe, Vishwa, is the object of different cognitions, innumerable cognitions. And this Vishwa has its being in the Atma, in the Paramatma. Chandogya Upanishad says, Aitadatmyam idam sarvam. All that is here has its reality in the Sat Vastu alone. It is like million ornaments having their being only in one gold. The substantive is only Atma, and that is Brahman. So thus the Lord is called Vishwatma. And the universe is called Vishwa because it is Vividha Pratyaya Gamya, cognized in varieties of ways, just as we saw just now. So the Bhagavan is the one who sustains every pratyaya, every cognition by lending existence to it. The satta of every pratyaya is borrowed from Brahman only, Ishvara only. When we say a flower is, in this statement, the flower asti bhati, it is and it shines. That is, it shines in our awareness as an object. So everything in the Jagat, asti bhati, exists. Asti means exists, bhati means shines. Unless it shines, it will not become an object of our cognition. So everything in this Jagat exists and shines as an object of our awareness, our consciousness. And this existence and the shining nature of every object is borrowed from Brahman, from the Sat and Chit aspect of Brahman. So any object in this Jagat, it can be reduced to asti bhati. That is the common, what we call, denominator of all objects in this world. Everything other than that is all just names and forms. A flower, if you take, is nothing but existence and consciousness, asti and bhati, plus a name and form. So too is space. It is nothing but existence and consciousness plus a name and form. So if we look at every object in this world, which are all objects of our cognition, they become objects of our cognition only because of two factors, asti and bhati. So this asti and bhati is common to all objects, but the name and form of each object is uncommon. They differ from object to object. And this variety of these names and form is what is Vishwa. So asti bhati, that is existence and consciousness, in the nama and rupa, in the names and form, is what is Vishwa. And the one who sustains this world of names and forms by lending the Sat and Chit is the Atma of this Vishwa. Hence, he is called Vishwatma, that is Parameshwara. That is the meaning of Vishwatma. Then Sahasrakshaha. Again, same thing. The meaning we have to take one who has got countless sense organs. Even though Akshini means only eyes, here eyes stand as a representative of all the sense organs. Okay. Sahasrani, Akshini, yeah, Sahasrani, Akshini, Akshani va yasya saha sahasraksha. Okay. Sahasrani, Akshini, then Adi Shankara says Akshani va. So that means plural also is being individual, that is Akshini is eyes and Akshani means all the sense organs. Saha yasya saha sahasraksha. Bahuvrihi samasa. So Akshi can be taken to mean any indriya, any sense organ. And in every organism there are indriyas. Different indriya. The function of the indriyas in the different organisms may be different. For example, a bat, it has got a sonar system because of which it is able to go around. We don't have that sonar system. That in sonar system in a bat is an indriya. For example, dogs are there. They have got very fine sensory perception of smell. We don't have that kind of sensory perception. We have also got smell, but it is not as fine, as powerful as a dog's. So all these sense organs belong to whom? It is belong to the Lord only. Hence he is Sahasraksha, endowed with thousands, that is countless sense organs. There it's Sahasraksha, Sahasra Shirisha Purusha, what is Sahasra Murdha, Sahasraksha. All, the same kind of explanation is there. And next one is Sahasrapat, the one who has got countless feet. Sahasrani pada asyeti sahasrapat. The Lord is described as having 1,000 padas, countless feet. Again, here feet we can take it as standing for organs of action, karmendriyas. So again, we can go, Purusha Suktam is what is here in this sloka, nothing but Purusha Suktam is repeated. Sahasra Shirisha Purusha hai, Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat. This is there in Purusha Suktam. The same thing is repeated here as Bhagavan's namas. Because they are all referring to Bhagavan. The one who has got countless heads, the one who has got countless sense organs, the one who has got countless feet. Who is that? That is Bhagavan. So the Purusha in the Purusha Suktam is 1,000-headed, 1,000-eyed and 1,000-footed. And that is the Purna Purusha, who is manifest in the form of the world. Nothing is lacking in that Purusha. So this was the last nama of the sloka, Sahasrapat. Then we will go to the next sloka. Avartano nivrittatma samvrita sampramardhanah ahas samvartako vannirranilo dharanidharah. So this sloka is got 28 to 35, 8 namas. Avartanah, nivritatma, samvritah, sampramardhanah, ahas-samvartakah, vannihi, anilah, dharanidharah. So there are 8 namas are there in this sloka. So let us start with Avartana. Avartana basically means repetition. So Avartana is the one who causes the cycle of samsara to turn. Samsara chakram avartayitum sheelam asyeti avartana. So as I said, avartana is the repetition of a cycle. The one who has the power to keep the cycle of creation, sustenance and resolution turning again and again is avartana. And this is a cycle. The whole prapancha, this creation and all is a cycle. It has no beginning, no end. We don't know from when this whole cycle started. We just say from beginningless times, both Brahman and Maya have existed. And Ananta also, there is no end. Because like a cycle has no end. So this is a cycle, and being a cycle, it has no beginning, no end. And the Lord keeps it going, and that is why he is called Avartana. Then Nivrittatma. Nivrittatma means the one who is essentially free from samsara. Even though the Lord keeps this whole thing as Avartana, he is constantly engaged in creation, sustenance and resolution without any break or any respite. The samsara chakram, he keeps on repeating it. The question will be, does it mean that the Lord is affected by this samsara? For this, Adi Shankara says, samsara bandha nivritta atma swarupam asyeti nivritta atma. Atma means swarupam, nature. So, in his essential nature, the Lord is samsara bandhanat nivrittatma. His atma is nitya nivritta hai, ever free, never bound at any point in time. All this cycle and all we are talking about is only from the standpoint of a samsari, from the standpoint of a jiva. And as we have seen, Bhagavan is the one who runs the cycle. But from his own standpoint, he is always actionless and free. That is what is the meaning of this Nivrittatma. Then Samvritaha. Samvritaha, Adi Shankara says, Achadikaya avidyaya samvritatvat samvritaha. The one who is covered by avidya. Bhagavan is covered by avidya, making it impossible for an ignorant to ajnani to know him. So if Bhagavan is Nivrittatma and he is the very Atma of you, me, everyone, then there is only one Atma which is limitless. And that Atma is always free from samsara. When that is so, each one of us should also be Nivrittatma. Swarupataya, we are all Nivrittatma only. But then, how is it that we are called a samsari and we become a samsari? That is because our true nature is covered. We are under the spell of Maya. So we do not know our true nature. Even though we are Nivrittatma, we don't know we are Nivrittatma, and we give ourselves a label as Samsari. Samsari is one who is always subject to Raga, Shoka, and Moha. With all desires, unfulfilled desires becoming cause for sorrow, and sorrow converting itself into delusion, confusion. These are all the indicators of a samsari. And all this is because this Maya is doing its job. So we are all under the spell of Maya, whereas Bhagavan has got Maya under his control. Bhagavan knows what he is doing. He is like a magician. Every magician is aware of what he is doing. Hence, it is not a magic for a magician. Only for the people like us who are not aware of how the magician does all these things, we give it a name magic. So from the standpoint of the Jiva, Ishvara is Samrita, covered by avidya, ignorance. The wheeling power of Maya as though covers Ishvara from our vision. That is why we do not understand that we are also Nivrittatma. And this avidya or ajnanam, whatever you can call, this Maya Shakti, that covers Bhagavan as it were. So when the Bhagavan is covered, we are not able to know Bhagavan, see Bhagavan, understand Bhagavan in his true form. This is just like, if you just cover your eyes, the whole universe becomes covered, isn't it? So Atma is not recognized, and that is enough to be a samsari, because samsaritva is centered on I, and that I is not known. It's an unknown I. But the silver lining is, by the grace of Ishvara, we can free ourselves from this avidya that covers us. Bhagavan says in the Gita, Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. Those who worship me cross over this Maya. Otherwise, my Maya is Duratyaya, very difficult to cross over. So this is the meaning of this word Samvritaha. Then Sampramardhanaha. Sampramardhanaha means the one who destroys. Samyak pramardayati rudrakaladhyabihi vibhutibihi iti sampramardhanaha. So Bhagavan is Sampramardhanaha, who destroys through his vibhutis in the form of Rudra, Kala, Yama, etc. In these forms, he becomes the giver of the results of action. In reality, the Lord is the abode of fearlessness. In fact, he is the one who keeps us fearless. But if such a Lord becomes the source of fear, then what it means? It means that creation of that Lord as a source of fear is our own creation. When we take refuge in Dharma and in following Dharma, we will have to make certain sacrifices. Because following Dharma in letter and spirit is not easy. A dharmic life is full of difficulties. So due to this cover of Maya, people may not use their viveka to choose the path of dharma, but instead they take the path of adharma. And if adharma is done, then what happens? The Lord is helpless. He has to give the result of that adharma in the form of difficulties and conflicts, which are not conducive for the happiness and well-being of the jivas. And how does he do that? He gives all the difficulties through kala, that is time, and through their own karma phala. So the Lord is kala in that form. And we can actually relate to that. When the time passes, when old age comes, are we all not fearful of the old age? But if you have been spiritually growing, then you become wise. Even though aging does not stop because it's a continuous process, we learn to age gracefully and enjoy the old age. Then old age or death is not a problem. And of course, here Adi Shankara doesn't think. Pujya Swamiji says he is also a destroyer of our avidya, ignorance. Where without Bhagavan's grace, we cannot come to this, the Vedanta study. Without Bhagavan's grace, we will not be able to understand what our true nature is. And once we understand and abide in our true nature, that will be the destruction of avidya, the ignorance of ourself. So in that meaning also, we can say he is Sampramardanaha, destroyer of ignorance, avidya. Then the next nama is Ahasamvartakaha. Ahaha means day. Samvartakaha means initiator. Ahasamvartakaha means the initiator of the day as the sun. Samyak ahanam pravartanat suryaha ahasamvartakaha. So Bhagavan is also the initiator of time, day, seasons, everything. The day starts with the sunrise, and the sun is the one that makes the day based on the sort of, what we call apparent rising and setting. Even though it is again another Maya. To us, it appears as rising and setting, but actually the sun never rises, never sets. It is fixed. It doesn't move. So based on that only we calculated the day, isn't it? From the sunrise to sunset. And Bhagavan is one who is in the form of the physical sun and the form of Surya Devata and makes the day possible day after day. So he is Ahasamvartaka, the initiator of the day. Now, all devatas are what? So, Rupataya, all devatas are Bhagavan's, Bhagavan Rupam only. All their powers are all derived from Ishvara only, from Bhagavan only. So here one more aspect of it, which is the day. He is also Ahasamvartaka, the initiator of the day. Then next one is Vannihi. He is also in the form of fire. Vahanat Vannihi. The Lord is Vanni, both physical fire and also the Agni Devata. Agni is called Vanni because it carries the oblations offered by us to the various Devatas. Jivanam Vahati. The Lord is the one who carries on life of all beings in the form of energy and temperature and all hence also Vanni. Because every living being, especially you can take example of human beings, there is a certain temperature which is maintained because of which all the activities are possible. It is maintained at a particular level. If it goes up, then there is that affects the activities. If it goes down, also it affects the activities. Who makes this happen? So it's the Lord which makes it happen. Because he, in the form of Agni Devata, is present by our digestion. The Jataragni is nothing but Lord. So when we start understanding what Bhagavan actually is, and we start relating to everything that is there in this universe as only a name and form which has borrowed its existence from Bhagavan, we will start relating to everything in this universe as Bhagavan. So this is Vannihi. Then next one is Anilaha. Anilaha means the one who is constantly moving as the air. Anilayaha Anilaha. Anaditvat Anilaha. Anadana va ananadva Anilaha. So four comparison Adi Shankara gives between air and Bhagavan to derive this meaning of this nama Anilaha. Anilayaha Anilaha. Here Anilaha means the external air, because of which plants, animals, human beings, all other beings, everything, they are able to live. That which sustains life in the entire universe is Anila. So Bhagavan is called Anila. Because air exists not only as prana, but also that which creates the atmosphere because of which life is possible. And air does not have a fixed abode. Similarly, Bhagavan being all pervading does not have a fixed abode, unlike other cultures which say that Bhagavan is in heaven, etc. We don't believe in that at all. At least when we come to Vedanta, in Puranas and all, there are, for the Purana level students, it is told there is Vaikuntham, Kailasam and all that. But that is only an intermediary stage in the spiritual progress. When we come to Vedanta, when we come to Upanishads, we learn that Bhagavan is all pervading. He is Vishnu. And being Vishnu, he does not have a fixed abode. So the air nan niliyate does not stop at one place. It has to go in and come out as prana. Even when we breathe, goes in and then comes out. And it does this uniformly and continuously. So as an internal air also, it doesn't, it doesn't stop at one place. External air also, it does not stop at one place. It keeps moving, and hence it is called Anila. And it is Bhagavan who is in the form of Anila, the air. Then, like Ishvara, the air is also Anadi, beginningless. The entire creation is cyclical and not linear. And therefore, the beginning of this creation is unknown. Since both air and Bhagavan have existed from beginningless times, Therefore, it is Bhagavan who is in the form of Anila, air. This is what he means by Anadi. Then the meaning of the word Adana means binding or fettering. Air being free flowing, it cannot be bound or fettered. We cannot capture air and put it in a bottle. It will, if we even put it, will go again. So it is anadana, that which cannot be shackled. Similarly, Bhagavan also being all pervasive cannot be bound or shackled, and hence he is called Anilaha. And Bhagavan is not only beginningless, but na niliyate vinashyati, does not perish, and hence he is Anila. Anila as prana takes all the karmendriyas unto itself. So too Bhagavan takes everything unto himself and is therefore known as Anila. Because if the pranas are not proper, our karmendriyas, the organs of action, cannot work. They are all sustained by the prana. That is why when we grow old, if we have to climb a few steps of stairs, we know the effect of prana. Prana becomes weakened in the old body, and it is unable to support the actions of the various parts of the body. And that is why in our culture, pranayama is a very, very important sadhana one needs to do every day. Even when we do Sandhya Vandanam, pranayama is a very important component of Sandhya Vandanam. It is keeping the prana strong and working, which will make us function even at old age with a very good degree of efficiency. So pranayama indirectly, it is like, so when we do pranayama, which is not, if prana is Bhagavan, by doing pranayama, we are also getting nearer and nearer Bhagavan. We are bringing more and more Bhagavan into us. So this, because Bhagavan takes everything unto himself, therefore known as Anila. Then Dharani Dharaha. Dharani means the earth, right? Dharaha means the one who supports. The one who supports the earth. So Adi Shankara says, Sheshadik Gajadi Rupena Varaha Rupena Cha Dharanim Dhatta Iti Dharani Dharaha. So we have seen this sloka, it is said Bhagavan is the sun, he is the fire, he is the air, and all these things, right? And as the Adhisthana of the earth, he is Dharani Dharaha. So we have covered 4 elements rather. Out of 5, 4 have been covered. No, sorry, 3. The sun is also not a so 3: fire, air, and earth. So Bhagavan is not only the support of the earth, he is the one who supports everything as the Dharani, the earth. He is the one who sustains life in the form of earth, the sun, the air, fire, etc., everything. But generally what we should do is, our thinking, our orientation is that we take Bhagavan as one among many things. Fire is fire, sun is sun, and God is God. Thus we see everything separately. This is our thinking. But in truth it is not so, because There is nothing separate from Bhagavan. We think God is another person like our uncle sitting in a particular location, separate from everything. This idea is knocked off by Vishnu Sahasranamam. And Adi Shankara in his Bhashyam, he is drawing our attention to the Puranas and Ramayana, where Bhagavan in his forms like Adisesha, Gaja, and in Varaha Avatara also is shown as supporting Dharani, the earth. So this is the meaning of the word Dharani Dharaha. We'll now go to the next noun. Next sloka. Suprasada prasannatma vishwadhrik vishwabhuk vibhuho satkarta satkrita sadhu janhur narayano naraha. So this has got 11 namas. Suprasadaha prasannatma vishwadhrik vishwabhuk vibhuhu satkarta satkritaha sadhuhu jannuhu narayanaha naraha. 11 namas are there in this sloka. Let us see them one by one. Suprasadaha. Suprasadaha is the one who blesses people with his grace. Adi Shankara says, Shobhanaha prasado yasya apakaravatam api Shishupaladinam moksha pradatritvad iti suprasadaha. So the Lord is a source of prasada. Prasada means what? Means blessing. Even those who did harm to him, they were given moksha. And here Adi Shankara is bringing the story of Shishupala to show how compassionate the Lord is. I hope so, at least some of you know the story. Shishupala wanted to marry Rukmini, whereas Rukmini wanted to marry Krishna. And of course, Krishna also wanted to marry her. But due to circumstances, her wedding with Shishupala was fixed. And Rukmini did not know what to do. So what Krishna did, he kidnapped Rukmini at her request. She appealed to Krishna, save me from this. I don't want to get married to this Shishupala. So Krishna kidnapped Rukmini. When Shishupala came to know this, he was very angry, obviously. And he became the enemy of Krishna. He became inimical to Krishna. And because of that, he wanted to wreak revenge on Krishna. Because of his anger, he constantly was thinking of Krishna only. Every day, every moment. Oh, that Krishna, I have to wreak revenge. I have to somehow, cause harm to him. But even in that, he was only remembering the Bhagavan. And only because of this, remembering Bhagavan continuously, Shishupala got moksha. Moksha means what? He got swarga. Because remembering the Bhagavan, so much punya he earned that he went to swarga. Which of course is a relative moksha. What we can call is apekshika moksha. This of course is the traditional Puranic interpretation of this Shishupala stories and how this happened. But from a Vedanta angle, what we have to understand is the Lord is the one from whom we derive all blessings. In fact, he need not give anything to us. The very thought of the Lord is a blessing. And hence the Lord is called Suprasada. Because the Lord is with all the glories, and the very thought of Him makes us completely resolve all the thoughts about ourselves, all our ego gets resolved. More and more we keep on thinking of the Lord, the less and less we will think of our ego I, and eventually that will get resolved. Pujya Swamiji says, even our lower self-esteem is also within the psychological order of Ishvara. That we have a background which gives us this low self-esteem is within the order of Ishvara. Basically, there is nothing wrong with us. So the very thought of Ishvara makes us feel connected to Him and relieves us from our own low self-esteem. So if anybody is suffering from low self-esteem, only thing is keep on remembering Vishnu Sahasranamam is an excellent medication for low self-esteem. Initially, just chant. We don't need to understand the meaning. Just understand that Vishnu Sahasranama is a prayer offered to Bhagavan. With that understanding, keep on chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. And you will see how over a period of time, this low self-esteem, this diffidence many people have got, that vanishes. And if you later stage, if you understand the meaning and then chant with knowing the meaning, nothing like it. So this is the meaning of this word Suprasada. Then Prasanna Atma, the one who is ever satisfied. Prasanna, always happy. Adi Shankara says, where is it gone? Rajas tamobhyam akalushita atmantah atma antakaranam asya iti prasannatma. And he further says, karunardra swabhavat va yadva prasanna swabhavah karunika ityartah avapta sarva kamatvad va. All this long what he gives. So Bhagavan is prasannatma, ever satisfied, ever cheerful, because he always abides in sattva guna. Here the word Atma has to be understood as Antakaranam, the internal instruments which are what? Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. The source of all our unhappiness is the predominance of Tamoguna and Rajoguna. If you analyze it, Tamoguna induces laziness and drives the tendency to procrastinate. Rajoguna is responsible for all our actions. And it is because of this guna that we find ourselves restless, wanting to be engaged in doing something or the other. Constantly we want to do. We don't want to sit idle. If we have Rajoguna Pradhana. Tamoguna Pradhana, they don't want to do anything. Just lie down, and if it is to be done today, let us do it tomorrow. In fact, there is that in Hindi, some of you know Hindi, there is a saying, Kal kare so aaj kare so ab. That means if something has to be done tomorrow, try to do it today itself. And if it can be done today, why don't you do it now itself? But Tamoguna people are reverse. Aaj kare so kal kare so kabhi nahi. If something can be done today, let us postpone it to tomorrow. And if it can be done tomorrow, it need not be done also. This is the Tamoguna Pradhana people's philosophy. So both these tamoguna and rajoguna, they are tendencies which are not conducive for spiritual growth. Therefore, what spirituality involves? Where everybody has got all the three gunas. Tamoguna is necessary. Without tamoguna, we will not get sleep. And sleep and rest is necessary for our proper functioning. So some degree of tamoguna is necessary. Similarly, rajoguna is some degree of rajoguna is necessary, where without that, we will not be able to do any activity, including eating and all that. So both gunas are necessary, but what we should do in spiritual growth, we must become sattva guna pradhana. Increase the increase the sattva guna and try to reduce the proportion of the rajoguna and tamoguna. That is the entire approach in spirituality. And this we can do increasing the proportion of the sattva guna through appropriate sadhanas, and then correspondingly we can also reduce the proportion of rajo and tamoguna in our life. So since Ishvara's antakaranam is not contaminated by rajo and tamoguna, he always abides in sattva guna and he is prasannatma. Then another cause is also there for his being prasannatma, which Adi Shankara gives. Karunardra swabhavat va. Bhagavan's swabhava is karunardra, compassionate. He is tender-hearted. He is karunika, and hence prasanna bhava. And this is another secret of happiness. Love, compassion, and care for all beings in the universe, they generate a great sense of happiness. Whenever we pray, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, and when we pray with sincerity in our heart, that gives us a lot of happiness. Let everything be happy. Sarve santu niramaya, let nobody be afflicted with any disease, let everybody be free from disease. So this is the prasanna bhava. And between prasannatma and suprasada, there is a connection. What we call in Sanskrit hetu hetumat bhava or hetu hetumat sambandha, a relationship of cause and effect. Hetu means cause. That which has the cause is not the hetumat. So there are two conditions, prasannata and prasada, where one condition is prior to the other. Prasannata comes from prasada buddhi. So between them there is hetu hetumat bhava. Prasannata is the effect of the prasada buddhi, is the cause. And this is what is behind karma yoga. If we may have desires, we may pray to God, to Bhagavan to give us so many things. But what is karma yoga? Whatever I do to get those things, I offer it as to Bhagavan, and whatever I get in return, I take it as prasada from Bhagavan. Once we understand this and we start practicing this prasada buddhi, we will never be disappointed with whatever we get. There will be no failure on our part. So this prasannata and prasada buddhi preceding prasannata, it is true with reference to jiva, the individual. But here we are talking of Ishvara, and prasannatma is the word for Ishvara. So it has already been said that the name of the Lord is Suprasada. Because he is Prasannatma, he is Suprasada. Blesses you with his prasada or grace. Therefore, with reference to Ishvara, his being Prasannatma is the Hetu and his being Suprasada is the Hetumat. Just the reverse of the Jiva's situation. Because anything that we offer to the Lord comes back. Excuse me. Anything that we offer comes back from Him as prasada, grace, and this appreciation is called prasada buddhi. And that gives us prasannata, cheerfulness. The very thought of Ishvara is able to knock off all the problems of one's ahankara or ego. Actually, an enlightened ego is not a problem, whereas an unenlightened ego alone is the problem. Suppose a person has got a low esteem, that low esteem can destroy the person. So while this is a problem centered on oneself, adhyatmika, there are also problems stemming from others, adi bhaudika, and we have to deal with adhyatmika problem first and then adi bhaudika problems. And this low self-esteem in many cases comes from one's own childhood and makes the person unhappy. It cannot be bypassed because it is there settled in the subconscious. So if you appreciate Ishvara as one in the form of the Jagat, which includes our body, mind, sense complex, we can see that his manifestation is in the form of different orders, like this physiological order, biological order, psychological order, etc. And this low self-esteem comes under the psychological order, and that means that in our own awareness, we have a self-appointed therapist in the form of Ishvara. Any other therapist is fallible, whereas Ishvara is an infallible therapist because he is in the form of the order. The order he has made, and if we conform to the order, then we can get rid of all our psychological problems. We'll stop here, it's already time, and continue in the next class. Okay. We will say the prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mama.
Hari Om Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Namaskaram. Pranams, Guruji.
Pranams.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaskar. Thank you.
Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. It seems there are no questions, so shall I close the session with your permission?
Yes.
Good. Thank you all. See you next Sunday.